Welcome to the IIBA Tampa Bay Study Group. This is our Thursday evening study group for August 1st, 2024, our 129th class. Today we're going to be going over the BABOK, the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge for Chapter 7, Knowledge Area 5. It's Requirements Analysis and Design Definition. We call it RAD. My name is Thea Soren. I am the president of our chapter, and I'm also the vice president of Career and Professional Development. All those fancy words just means I'm here to help. If you need something, reach out to me. Contacting me through LinkedIn is the easiest way to do so. We want to celebrate our wins, and I put this earlier in the slide deck today because I want to point out some things. These are folks who have reached out to say that our study group was helpful in them being able to earn their certification through the IIBA. Tish Bell and Nino went on to help or lead their chapters. Tish went to, I think, North Carolina. Nino is in the Philippines. Yulia, Kennedy, and Esther are now board members at our chapter. So not only did they earn their certifications, they stepped up and they're helping lead others through business analysis. And we do appreciate it. We want to hear from you. If you feel that we have helped you, this is the only way we get thank yous. Our leadership for our chapter is growing, and we want you. We recently had some board member changes. Esther and Alicia have taken on some new roles, and I will be updating those titles very soon. And I'm looking forward to seeing the incredible things that they're doing. But you can see we have some holes there, so we want you to join us. If you're interested in being a board member, we don't require a lot of time, but we do want your time, talent, and treasure to lift up our own community, and you know, our community is worldwide. We do have people from all over the world that are members of our chapter. Right now, most of them are in the United States. We have some in South America, some in Africa, some in India, a few in Canada, and then we are looking for anywhere you are. We don't really care where you are. And I know our name is Florida, but we don't care where you are. You can be a member of our chapter no matter where you live in the entire world. If you do not have an IIBA chapter, we're your chapter. Let us know. We are also looking to create some in-person branches of our chapter in different areas around Florida. If you're in a different part of Florida and you want to meet in person, reach out to me and we will get that organized. If you're interested in being a leader of that area, we will set you up to be a leader of that chapter branch. We're looking for emerging professionals. These are people who are college students with full loads. We want them to know, or even part loads, we want them to know that we have services that will make their resume shine. Being a member of a professional organization before you leave college, pretty cool. Earning a professional certification and networking with professionals before you leave college, can't get any better than that. Reach out to me. Kennedy Davis is coming on as the Director of Emerging Professionals, but she's not quite set up yet. This is our normal Thursday evening study group from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. We've given you quite a number of ways to reach out to us: LinkedIn, Zoom. We've got bonus materials, including our attendance sheet on Google Drive. We have our meeting recordings on YouTube. 120 hours of meeting recordings for people all over the world. Bob's incredible index is at rpchurchill.com. And then we have our IIBA chapter site that Alicia and Esther are working on, and they just continue to make it better. These are our study group advisors. Because they are here, you get an education credit hour. So we thank them. Many of them went through our study group before they became our advisors. Bob, of course, helped start our study group. So because they are here, you get credit. So reach out and thank them. We were working on the 3 IIBA certifications on top. IIBA does have 4 other certifications. If you're interested in learning more about those, either go to IIBA.org or reach out to me. Watermark Learning has given us 20% off of any of their products with the code TAMPA21. They not only have business analysis, they also have project management and a few other topics. A lot of different things they have. Flashcards, classes, books, If you are interested, reach out to them. Also, this month, and I've posted this in the chat, the IIBA has offered a member renewal. If you're a member, you're going to renew. You might as well do it this month. During this month, you get 15% off. And the link is in the chat. The Bluegrass chapter is offering a virtual study group. This is with questions to answer, practice test that's 2 hours long because, you know, the real test is 3.5. You might as well get used to that. They're going to have 14 sessions. They're Monday and Thursday evenings. Some of them do conflict with this class, but their sessions will start after our BABOK sessions. They will conflict with our meetings, but they have those recorded. I think that the price for chapter members is lower than this member regular registration price, but I'm not positive. But you can reach out to bluegrass.iiba.org and get more information.
Or just ask me.
Oh, well, there's Aaron. Aaron is the one who turned me on to this, guy. So yeah, ask Aaron. Aaron, what is the price for chapter members? Is it 120? I'm sorry, is it 259?
I believe so.
Okay, 259, whole lot less than anybody else, guys. And they've been doing this very successfully for a long time, lot longer than we have. I'll just say it that way.
And you could see that expires next week.
Oh, so it does expire next week. Well, it starts not long after that. Yeah. So reach out to Aaron. You can do it through this chapter here.
We are also holding a certification chat tomorrow, in which we will give out a discount to get you a little more discount off of that.
Okay. Okay. Aaron, you want to post a link to that in our chat here?
You can't go get it off our website?
Not right now. I'm a little busy. Okay. I want to say congratulations to Esther and Alicia and Ellen Mishra and Robert Churchill and a few other folks. The business analysis Bridging the Gap Across the Industries is going to be published very, very soon. This is a book put together to help business analysts that are moving into a new industry get a leg up. Things that you don't get unless somebody tells you. And so you're getting told. You're going to have education and insight into different industries. I think there's 8 industries, 10 industries in this. And so it's a pretty exciting thing. Part of the board of the Tampa Bay chapter worked together to get this done. But special shout out to Esther, who is the spearhead person in this. So thank you, Esther. Okay, we are going to switch over to this. Before we go into our drill, I want to go into this, the requirements analysis and design definition knowledge area. I want you to remember what we're working on right now. I also want you to remember this is the one knowledge area in the BABOK that has 6 tasks in it. Very different than any of the other knowledge areas. I also want you to see, let me grab one more thing over here. In the BABOK, you know, it was written 10 years ago and there were some mistakes made. On page 2 of this chapter, this word needs to be updated. This should be design. This is not solution. The errata identifies this word as needing to be updated. And I noticed in one of my last study groups, there was actually a question that you needed to know what the errata said. So I'm working my way through. I'll update y'all as we go. If you find something I don't find, let me know. But I just want you to know that needs to be changed. It's correct everywhere else in the book, in that chapter. Okay, we're going to go through the practice test questions. Are you ready? I encourage you to come off mute. Your conversation in this is what really makes us valuable. It's really important that we talk about why a certain answer is the best answer. Without that information, other people don't learn. So we need to have the conversation. If you come forward with an answer, I'm going to say, why do you like that answer better than another answer? Please just be willing to talk. Even if we get it wrong, we learn. Even if we get it wrong, we learn. This is the place to get it wrong, right? So we're going to do it together here. Let's start with the first one. Which of the following is not an improvement opportunity when defining design options? Is it improve access to information, eliminate redundancy, improve access to stakeholders, or increase consistency of behavior? According to the BABOK, what is the right answer?
I believe it is C.
You like B as in boy?
No, C as cat.
C as in cat? Why do you like that
Yes.
answer, Olga?
I guess we can definitely eliminate A and B. Because I remember that from BA block. Yes, those are definitely opportunities for improvement, A and B. And I'm not sure as for the D, but C seems to be like it just sounds weird.
I
Access to
agree. It does sound.
stakeholders, I don't even remember such a phrase.
Okay.
What is yeah, I don't even understand what this means.
Okay. Thank you, Olga. Who else has an
I
idea?
I agree with Olga. Improve access to stakeholders is not really something that should, yeah, it's not really something that it should be a design option to consider. Eliminate redundancy is an efficiency thing. Improve access to information is about efficiency again. Increase consistent behavior. All of those things are improvements. Where improve access to stakeholders, what does that mean? To be able to access the stakeholders, and how would a design option improve the access to that? So yeah, so for me it's C as well.
Okay. Do I have anyone else with a different idea?
I think it might be B
Why do you like
because
B, man?
the reason I say it's B is I think this is one of the things that we do when we create our requirements. We try to eliminate redundancy between our requirements. So I think it's kind of a trick question here where they're saying, hey, I remember seeing eliminate redundancy, but I don't remember seeing that as a improvement opportunity on design options. I think it was regarding requirements and reducing and eliminating redundancy between requirements. So I think it might be that.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I like your logic though. Okay. We have two suggestions for C. Let's check it. And it is correct. But I do understand why you would say that, Van. That makes perfect sense to me. According to the BABOK, though. Okay, you were assigned a project to help re-engineer a bank statement processing. Another team member showed that you this diagram of what he had modeled. He said the scope of the project is concentrated around the items shown. However, you are not familiar with this type of diagram. Okay, I did this thing. Here is the whole diagram so you can see it. So we know that these are cardinalities, right? Cardinalities tell you the relationships. The asterisk means unlimited. 0, you know what that means. 1-to-1 means it's got a 1-to-1 relationship. 1 to many, 0 to many, 0 to many, 1-to-1. Okay.
So what is the question?
We will go to the question. I wanted you to be able to see all of it because you couldn't see all of it the way they have it. So the question is, a different team member, let's see if I can do both of these at once. A different team member questions the post-transaction and report transaction attributes in the transaction box. Which is the correct response? So in the transaction box right here, post-transaction and report transaction. The other teammate is incorrect because names below the line in the class diagram represent operations. The other teammate is correct, and the two items are probably misnamed attributes. The other teammate is correct, and the two items are actually other classes related to the given class, or the other teammate is incorrect because names below the line on class diagrams represent foreign keys.
So this should be A.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that they are operations.
As far as I remember the, the notation.
Okay. And Andre, you agree?
Yeah, I think there are operations there where the others are like fields, transaction ID, transaction date. All of those things are kind of fields that you enter, and the other one it's
That is correct. Good job.
If you
Okay.
know object-oriented programming, an object is basically a record with attributes which are values singly and in groups, and there are functions or activities, and the attributes are above the line and the activities or the functions or procedures are below the line. So that's another practice area you can draw from if you have that experience.
Very good. Thank you, Bob. Okay. The business expert wants to make sure that the statements can be produced at least monthly or quarterly. What do you tell her? Okay. A business rule would state the timing of statement production. There is nothing in the model to limit how often statements are produced. You need to see other documentation to be sure, or another type of model would be the one to indicate how often statements are produced. Is there anything in here that talks about how often statements are produced?
Nothing.
No.
So B would be the answer.
So in a way, this one is difficult because B,
it does
C,
have a
and D
period ending
the
date.
same.
But statements,
It doesn't show you how long the periods are, though.
So we need to see other documents, or there's nothing in this model to limit.
So
I
maybe
think
the
that's a negative answer.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Me?
Either
Yeah,
one.
go.
Go.
Okay, so I was thinking that maybe period ending date. So this field contains information about the next date when the statement should be produced, but we cannot be sure about that. So I would say that C is the answer.
Okay. What do you think, Andre?
So what I was saying is that from those ones, all the way C, A, B, C, and D are kind of the same. But like if you say B, you're not actually answering. You're just saying that that's not where you would get it. So if you want to look for a positive way of answering that question, I think that C is more of an answer because you need to see some other documentation to actually find it. Yeah.
Okay.
The
D could
BABOK
be, but like I like C better.
The BABOK, I'm sure, says something. Because all of these statements are kind of true. And I don't love this question simply as an exercise. It's good for getting you to think about the material. It probably exercises a statement that's in the BABOK, but it's kind of goofy.
Okay.
So let's see what the BABOK says.
Okay, I've got one vote for B and one vote for C. I need a tiebreaker.
I would vote for C, I think.
Okay. I've got 2 votes for C. Let's see what the answer is. And the answer is correct. The documentation needed is classified as metadata, would include what the entities represent, when and why they were created and changed, how they should be used, how often they are used, when and by whom. So you have to see the other documentation.
Yeah, the problem is all those statements are true, so it's a goofy question.
Okay, I will identify it as goofy.
But you thought about it the right way, and as I say every stinking week, the questions on the actual exam are typically better than these.
Okay. I will identify this one as goofy. Let's go to the next one. How does the BABOK define a requirement? Is a requirement a proposal for doing or achieving something, a stakeholder expectation, a usable representation of need, or a usable representation of a solution?
Okay,
Straight
this
up.
is too simple.
Which one is it, Olga?
This is just too simple. It's C.
Anybody else?
Concur.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right, we got agreement here. Definition. Yay. A junior business analyst is modeling requirements in order to identify and validate inputs and outputs of the solution she is modeling. She approaches James, a senior business analyst, for advice. What modeling technique would James advise the junior business analyst to use? So, modeling requirements for inputs and outputs of a solution. Would it be prototyping, process modeling, Kano analysis, or interface analysis?
B, process modeling, I would think.
I would vote for interface.
Why do you like interface more than process?
I mean, they both seem to be correct, but interface analysis is focused more on inputs and the outputs.
Okay.
So you can definitely depict the inputs and outputs in process model, but interface analysis, like I said, it's primarily focus is on inputs and outputs, as far as I understand it.
Okay. Andrea, you still like process modeling more, and why?
Well, I think that process modeling is more a modeling technique than interface analysis.
Okay.
But
both are techniques in the 50 the BABOK covers.
Okay. So which one would the BABOK say is best for using, identifying, and validating inputs and outputs? I'm 90% sure it's not prototyping. And I'm pretty sure Kano analysis, I don't remember it if it's in there.
It's not in the BABOK, I don't think. It's definitely in Six Sigma.
Yeah. I need a tiebreaker, guys.
I think it's D because it's a solution.
Okay. So interface analysis is used more for a solution?
I think so. I think it was a piece of a process. I would go with process modeling since it's the entire solution.
Yeah.
Interface maybe makes a little bit more sense. I think of a solution as being a larger piece, a larger functional element than just a functional element of a process.
Okay, we've got 2 votes for D. Let's check the answer. And it is correct. This is the technique used in the specified model requirements task that James would recommend.
I'm going to comment since I do process modeling in interface analysis since dinosaurs roam the earth. I mean, the BABOK says something. They're both the same.
They can be.
I mean, if you think SciPod, all the elements you're modeling, all the sub-processes of a larger system can be used in every phase, most definitely the as is and the to be. In the connections between the elements, whether they're between internal elements or between an element in your system and something outside it, that would be an interface. So this is not well enough defined, I think, in the BABOK.
Okay, thank you very much. Mary is preparing to allocate requirements to solution components and releases to best achieve the objectives and maximize value. What should Mary do? Ensure her requirements are designed and approved by the implementation SMEs. Ensure her requirements are verified and tested. Ensure her requirements are verified and traced. Ensure her requirements are validated and prioritized. So, which task is this? Do you remember?
This is the last one about
I think it's
solution.
validate.
Okay. If
No,
you can
allocation
identify the
is
if you can identify the task, then you
allocation
know
is
that
happening.
these are going to be inputs to that task.
D as dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree. D.
D.
All right.
Yeah.
Check it, and that is correct. Only validated requirements are considered in design options, and knowing the requirements priority aids in the suggestion of reasonable design options. The lead business analyst has engaged you to outline the design possibilities that would satisfy a set of requirements in the project. Which set of activities is the lead business analyst involved in? Determining expected benefits, determining expected costs, determining value, assess design options, analyzing current state, defining future state, assessing risk, defining change strategy, defining solution approaches, identifying improvement opportunities, requirements allocation, or D, defining solution approaches, identifying improvement opportunities, requirements allocation, and describing design options.
This is talking about outline the design possibilities that will satisfy a set of requirements for the project. So it's assessing the designs that would satisfy requirements on the project. It's definitely not B. And it's
Andrea, do you know which task this is? Outline the design possibilities. Which task is that?
It's the architecture, I think. Requirements architecture.
Okay. So one of these are the elements.
So
of the,
it should
question
be
is
7.5.
okay.
Well,
Design
define
options.
design options.
so I'm saying look at the question. So it asks about the set of activities the lead BA is involved in, not you. So you were asked to outline the design possibilities, but what is the activity the lead BA is involved in? Not you while you are defining the design possibilities.
I think that this is almost a trick question because the BA is involved in every task, right? But what we need to identify is which of these are the correct elements to in this task, right?
So I would vote for B.
Okay.
Or A. I like them both.
Well, why do you like these two?
I like B because, like I said, if we're talking about the set of activities that the lead BA is involved in, this means that he needs some of your help to do something. And when you outline the design possibilities for the business analyst, he could possibly add them into defining future state, for example, and assessing risk. For example, our lead BA is involved into the strategy analysis, and he asks you to, help him with the business case, for example, just outline the design possibilities for this business case I'm working on right now. So this is just my logic.
In logic, in our real life, that's what makes sense. Does anyone else have an answer?
I don't
I would
like
say A.
C and D. I'm sorry, I will just finish. I don't like C and D just because requirements allocation, it happens after the solution has already been selected.
Right. Okay. So Andre, you like A better than B? And
Yeah.
why?
I think B is not.
Is analyzing current state isn't that already done?
It should have been done
Yes.
already. So
Yeah.
I think B should have been done already. Yes. At this stage, I think we're more. If a set of if a design satisfy a set of requirements, you will look at the assessing the design option.
Okay.
Looking at the benefits and the cost and the value. Yeah, I think it's A.
Okay. I've got an A and a B. Can I get a tiebreaker?
I'd go D.
You like D? Why do you like D, Bob?
Is talking about value, which is 7.6, and B is current state, which should already be done. 7.5 talks about requirement allocation, and in general, doing the design options and so on is what you're doing. So I like D. It'll probably be wrong.
Well, we will learn then. Okay, so I've got an A and a B and a D. I need a tiebreaker.
I kind of like D too.
Okay, I got two Ds. We're going to go with it. And that is correct. These are the elements of defined design option, which is what the business analyst is engaged in. Very good. And guys, that conversation was outstanding. Which knowledge area develops models in the current state of an organization? So we're talking knowledge area here, not task. Is it specifying model requirements, strategy analysis, enterprise analysis, or requirements analysis and design definition?
Strategy B, because there is analyze current state.
Okay. Can I get a second answer?
It's definitely not C.
Okay.
Because that's not a knowledge area.
A is not one either.
I think it is.
It was
A is not
in
one either.
BABOK
So that's
2.0.
me. And it's not, so it's either RAD or strategy analysis, I think.
Okay.
Well, in strategy analysis, do we do models, or the models are done in the RAD stage?
Yes, for example, we model scope.
strategy is how you get from where you are to where you're going, in theory.
Okay.
Yep.
I've heard several people say this. Let's check the answer. Okay.
Bad.
Analyzing current state is done in the knowledge area, but not modeling. There's maybe a slight difference between analyzing and modeling, and this question tests your ability to distinguish the two. Expect questions like this on the real exam where two equally valid sounding answers appear. Requirements analysis and design definition. The specified model requirements task is done in this knowledge area. The question is asking about modeling, so this is the best answer. So this is the task name. Okay.
Yeah, can we go to the question before one more time?
The previous question?
Yes, please.
Yes.
So in A, expected benefit determining expected cost, determining value, and assessing design options, that are all the elements for 7.6. So
okay. These are the elements in analyze potential value and recommended solution. The business analyst is not engaged in this task, which is kind of surprising because we've been told that the business analyst is engaged in every task.
That's just dumb.
But that's not what he was asked to do in the question. He was asked to outline the design possibilities. Possibilities, another word is options. So define design options is 7.5.
Okay.
There's nothing that says BA should not be involved in calculating cost benefits for various solutions. It's an explicit part of what the BA does.
But it's not what the question asked.
Yeah.
I think that's being a little too precious.
Andrea, can we go on?
I
know this.
Yes, thank you.
All
I just
right.
wanted to check that.
I appreciate that you have that much inquisitiveness. I appreciate that about you. Which of the following data models is typically used by implementation subject matter expert? Here's our role. To describe how a database is physically organized. Is it a conceptual data model, multivariable data model, logical data model, or physical data model? Oh, please.
Physical?
You sure it's not a multivariable? Can I get a second answer?
Multilogical.
Multilogical.
Yeah, we use a schema.
Concept.
Okay, let's check this one. And
Physical.
that is correct.
I was going to ask, what is a multivariable model?
I don't think it's
never
a real
heard
thing.
of it.
I think it's
a
made-up thing.
It's something they made up.
Anything you need a database for would be multivariable by definition.
That's true. It would be, wouldn't it? That's pretty cool. Okay, Geisen is analyzing and refining the elicitation results into requirements. He wants to use a technique that will help his stakeholders, who are customers, describe the goal they want to accomplish when using the solution. What technique would Geisen use? Is it a use case and scenarios, scope modeling, user stories, or organizational modeling? He wants them to describe the goal they want to accomplish when using the solution. And his stakeholders are customers.
User stories.
Answer is what? Oh, sorry. That was C.
Do you like C, Chris?
No, I like A personally because, your use cases are predicated on what the stakeholders are looking for or are actually utilizing the system for. And yeah, And then
Yeah.
the scenarios behind that will determine your solution, right?
Right. I think the BABOK, well, let's check the answer.
Yeah.
The customer writes the user stories because he's in the best position to know the goal of what they want to accomplish. But I agree with you, Chris. In real life, use cases and scenarios do identify what the goal is, but stakeholders don't write use cases. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know very many stakeholders that write the use cases. Business analysts are the ones that, have fingers on the keyboard. Most stakeholders don't have the training. They don't understand what it is we're looking for.
That's also being a little too precious. So user stories are, as a rule, I want to do an activity to accomplish a goal that should answer the question. However, use cases describe various activities and their relationships to each other in a usable and, most importantly, reusable form. So that's a smaller thing.
Julia said she doesn't like the word describe in this sentence.
I'm also thinking, I don't think the customers actually write the user stories.
According to the BABOK, they can. In real life, I don't put that in their hands.
I don't see them writing.
Yeah, not in real life.
So can we all agree that customers are considered external stakeholders to the organization? Therefore, organizational model or the organization chart would not help you at all. That was answer D.
Customers can be internal, though.
According to the BABOK, they're external.
External.
End users can be internal.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. That's excellent observation.
Aaron often has excellent observations. I talk to Aaron almost every day at work for things like this.
I agree.
Requirements that don't meet quality standards have likely been evaluated in which tasks. They don't meet quality standards. Is it the verify and validate requirements task, value requirements task, verify requirements task, or validate requirements task? Guys, are all those requirements tasks out of this chapter?
No, value doesn't.
C.
C.
Are you saying C is the right answer, Van?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. There's not a value requirements task, right?
No.
Okay. I've got one vote for C.
Well, there kind of is, but not in that exact terminology.
Right. I've got one vote for C.
I agree with C.
Okay.
So this is trying to ensure that you keep straight verify versus validate. So A, you could throw out, it's not both of them. So verify to meet the quality standards of the organization. Validate is that it meets the needs of the project so that work can continue.
Okay.
I get them all mixed up all the time, as well. So getting those two straight will help you because you will see that on the exam.
Okay. Well, let's get to the next one. Say it again, Aaron. How do you tell the difference between verify and validate?
Well, verify is it meets the quality standards of the organization.
Okay.
And validate is that it meets the needs of the project, more of the stakeholders in that, and allows work to continue.
And delivers value.
More generally, as an implementer or a programmer, validate is, does it do what you want it to do? And validate is what you wanted to do the right thing.
Okay, thank you. Atomic is a characteristic of requirements and design quality. What does it mean? It is small. Atom-like. It is at the level that will guide further work. It contains no extraneous or unnecessary content. It is self-contained and capable of being understood independently of all of other requirements or designs.
D.
D as dog.
D.
Yeah.
D, dog.
D is in dog?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, very good. This is
They
the
all
correct.
jumped on that one, baby.
I got it. Susan thinks she is done with her requirements analysis on a project. Her project manager sent her a terse email telling her she's not done yet. He also sent her the business objectives and potential value for the project and asked her to complete one more important task to ensure the requirements support the business case. What activity does Susan need to complete? Is it identify any missing or incorrect requirements, obtain approval of the requirements, requirements verification, or requirements validation?
So
This
this
is
is
where we
about
need that
validation.
D. Validation.
Yes,
D?
D. D, dog.
Delta.
Okay, let's test it. And we are correct. Y'all are hot tonight. That's awesome. Define design options is a task in which of the following knowledge areas? Is it the require analysis and design definition, solution evaluation, strategy analysis, or elicitation and collaboration?
A.
Yeah. Which
So
one
it
are
looks
we in?
like
Define design is in red.
Yeah. A.
Yeah.
A.
Okay. Very good.
so it looks
7.5,
like
isn't it?
These flow charts is such a help.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Are you sure you selected questions for CBAP, not ECBA?
Yeah.
They're just, I mean, usually we have much more difficulties.
I think y'all are just getting it. I think you're just getting it. Okay, Howland is ensuring the requirements and designs have been defined correctly and provide the necessary information for further work that will be performed. What task is Howland doing? So this is a description of a task. Is it validate requirements, perform quality assurance, verify requirements, or maintain requirements? First of all, are any of these not requirements in this knowledge area? I mean, any of these not tasks in this knowledge area?
So B
B
is not a task.
but I think the answer is C.
Okay. I've got one vote for C. Got
That's
two
correct.
votes for C. And that is correct. The project team is in the process of confirming compliance with the organizational and business analysis performance standards, correct use of modeling notation and completeness within each model, and that items determined to be important are included in the final requirements deliverables. What tool would help in carrying out these activities? Would it be a control chart, a checklist, metrics and key performance indicators, or item tracking? First of all, which of these is not in the BABOK?
Control chart.
Control chart.
Okay, we can get rid of that one. So which one of these does this job?
I think item tracking.
Checklist?
Not sure.
It's a checklist,
B
maybe.
checklist?
B as in boy.
Yeah.
I heard D, item tracking. I heard B as in boy.
B as a boy. I'll second that one.
Okay, I
Okay.
got two for that one. And that is correct. The purpose of a checklist in the verify requirements task is to ensure that items determined to be important are included in the final requirement deliverables. Which of the following best describes what is needed in order to specify and model requirements? Is it modeling tools, a business analyst, requirements, or any elicitation results?
D.
A business analyst is definitely needed.
It's always a business analyst. But I think that's the real answer, but the BABOK answer will be D.
Do I have a
I
second
think it's
vote?
requirements. usually. Oh no, elicitation's result is for the first one. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's check it. And that is correct. Susan is done with defining the solution approach, identifying opportunities to improve the business, allocating requirements across solution components, and representing design options to achieve the desired future state. Which of the following activities will likely be the next step? Is it produce different viewpoints of the requirements for the various stakeholders? Estimate the potential value of each design option? Ensure that the designs meet quality standards, or ensure the requirements and designs align to the business requirements and support the needed value? According to the BABOK, what is the correct answer?
So the list that is given us is the ones that we identify as being the 7.6 in the questions before. So ensure that the designs meet quality standards is verifying. So that's before. Ensuring that the requirements and design align to the business requirements and support the value needed, that's validation. So C is
I would say
verify,
this is
D is validation.
Okay.
What about B? I would say B because the potential value, this is what we need to, you know, assess the design options and select the solution.
Okay. Andrea, what do you think about B?
Yeah, I think either A or B. I remember reading A, but it doesn't sound like the right thing. So maybe B. Yeah.
Okay.
So viewpoints is about architecture, right? Requirements architecture.
I interpret that more as what the various stakeholders want. And you should already know that as part of elicitation and the review.
Already. Okay, let's see. Okay. Although there's not a specific next step listed, it's highly likely that once you define the design options, you would estimate the potential value for each design option and to establish which is most appropriate to meet the enterprise's requirements. So not in the BABOK, just reasonable.
It's in the BABOK. It's a paraphrase of what 7.6 describes.
Okay. Which of the following requirements does not meet the characteristics of a quality requirement? The system shall read the tracking database and feed the bond prices to the web database using XML. The system shall provide maintenance function for correcting any missing data. Bond prices will be viewable and sortable by maturity date, length of security, yield, and rating. Or D, the system shall display bond prices using 3 decimal places instead of fractions. So characteristics of a quality requirement.
I think B is the one that is a little bit more vague. B as boy. But I don't know. Not sure. C and D sounds really specific, so they look like they're quality requirements.
This tells it which database to read and what to feed to
and what it will be
destination using what application. So this one is the most vague, and vagueness is one of those broad, you know, you can't test it. My tester would go, how do I test this? I don't have enough data. I don't know.
Hey, doggone.
It doesn't like that at Name Technologies. Okay, according to the BABOK, that may be true, but I have had times that I've had to put the technology in to provide the right information. But okay, so
mark it as goofy.
Okay, I'll mark it as goofy.
I don't agree it's goofy because B is kind of this high level requirement and it is totally plausible. I mean, it can exist.
Yeah.
You would
Okay.
just have to know which fields are required.
While including the implementation details into requirements is kind of bad practice, right?
Problem is, it doesn't really. That's the problem with defining requirements. Is specifying the technology can be a requirement.
I completely agree with that because, you know, if you're looking at, you know, a roadmap, a technology roadmap that an enterprise is utilizing, I mean, you have to fall in line with, you know, the technology that is being implemented, right?
Right.
There is a difference between, you know, a requirement and constraint. So what you're saying, this is a technical constraint. I mean, to my understanding.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And it's
and
just a
SBAs were
question
working
of
with both.
how far you're gonna break things down.
But according to the BABOK, they don't want us to identify the technology or tell them how to do the development. They just want us to say, this is what we need to have done. Which list describes the complete set of tasks in the requirements analysis and design definition knowledge area? Okay, complete set of tasks. So this is the list of all the tasks, all 6. Specify model requirements, verify requirements, validate requirements, define requirements architecture, define design options, analyze potential value, and recommended solution. Prioritize requirements, specify model requirements, verify requirements, validate requirements, define design options, analyze potential value, and recommended solution. Specify and model requirements, verify requirements, validate requirements, define requirements architecture, assess risks, analyze potential value, and recommended solution. And D, specify model requirements, verify requirements, validate requirements, define design options, analyze potential value, and recommended solutions. Which one is the correct list?
A.
Although D is a close second, but it only has 5 of the items instead of 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does only have 5, and we know that there's 6. Okay, I've got 1 vote for A. Do I have a second vote?
And the third one.
Are you saying C?
No, I'm saying the third vote for A.
Oh,
is
you
from
got
me.
3 votes. Okay, very good. And that is
All
complete
right.
list of tasks. Okay, let's get this finished, guys. The number of occurrences in one entity in a data model that are linked to a second entity is that cardinalities, associations, attributes, or numeralities, according to the BABOK.
Cardinalities.
Anybody else? Okay, that is correct. Joseph is assisting each design. Joseph is assessing each design option based on the potential value that is expected to deliver and ensuring that it represents the most effective trade-offs. Which of the following would he not consider in this activity? Would it be requirements allocation, available resources, constraints on the solution, or dependencies between requirements?
Constraints on the solution? Oh, sorry, no.
I would say D.
A.
Okay.
Requirements allocation.
Okay. Why do you like A?
Because the other 3 are are activities. Okay. You have to consider the available resources, the constraints to the solutions, and the dependencies between requirements.
Okay. I've got 1 strong A, guys. What's another answer? Do I have another A or a different answer?
I would say D because looking at potential value, you look at resource allocation, you look at your resources and constraints.
I
You don't
would
really
agree with D.
I'm sorry, Olga, did you say D also?
Yeah, I said just I agree with D.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we've got two answers for D. Let's see what the answer is. Requirements allocation should have been considered while defining the design options, making it the correct answer. A dependency between requirements, some capabilities may provide limited value to the organization, but need to be delivered to support other high value requirements. So, Richard, you're right, but the BABOK says that we got to do it this way. Requirements allocation is the correct answer. Design options based on the potential values expected to deliver. Next question.
Yeah,
Catherine,
that's on page 160.
thank you. Catherine is preparing to specify and model requirements. She starts with conducting a thorough stakeholder analysis to identify stakeholders and analyze their characteristics. What technique is Catherine using? Is it the roles and permissions matrix, organizational modeling, stakeholder analysis, stakeholder list map, or personas? According to the BABOK.
D, as dog.
I agree.
That is correct. Many people call it a stakeholder analysis. Congratulations for knowing the correct term for it. A senior business analyst was providing advice to a new business analyst and recommended using a matrix for their requirements modeling format. What is the purpose of this type of format? To convey a set of requirements that have a complex but uniform structure that can be broken down, to create a visual representation of a set of requirements, to provide an easy way for the business analyst to model the requirements, or to clearly describe the requirements in an active voice.
A.
Do you have a second answer?
Yeah, I would agree with A. Yeah.
Okay. A does actually have a complex but uniform structure that can be broken down in the BABOK. When creating a requirements model, business analysts determine the specific categories and specific models within categories to be used. Which of the following is not an example of a category? Is it costs, people and roles, capability, or rationale?
I would say cost.
Okay. Why do you like cost, Olga?
Because models can be categorized by people and roles and capabilities, and probably the rationale for their usage or the implementation, but I cannot, I mean, yeah, you can categorize according to the cost of implementation, but these are requirements, not designs. So
I like your
yeah,
logic.
that's why I would go with A.
Okay. Do I have a second answer?
Page 138.
Anybody
Makes
else?
sense.
What did you say, Andrea?
It makes sense, Olga's rationale.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
let's
it's
check it.
A as well.
And it is right. So let's submit our exam.
I don't remember the page, however.
Ooh, 84.
84%, guys. Y'all are rocking it. Okay. With this high score, I think we'll go on to the next chapter next week. Do y'all feel good about that?
Yes.
Okay. If there's
So
anything,
chapter 8 next week?
yes,
Is that
chapter 8
all
next
right?
week. So if there's anything that made you pause in this chapter, I encourage you to go in and do a deep dive and figure out what the BABOK says. I also encourage you to review the techniques that are presented here So, because if you review the techniques as you go through the chapters, you don't have to do all 50 of them when you get to chapter 10. Okay, if anyone has any questions or concerns or needs assistance, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am very happy to be of assistance. I'll see y'all next week. I'm excited we're on this journey together. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.